Hi everyone, I'm Ander Sealark. I have a new book that's been released today, August 9th, so I'm here to talk about it a little and give you a sneak peek. I hope you enjoy. As you can see from the cover next to me, the name of the book is Go for the Company, and it's part of the multi-author Carnival of Mysteries series. Each book in the series stands alone, but all include at least one visit to the aforementioned Carnival of Mysteries. In my case, the carnival kind of plays a role in the protagonist's death, and definitely in his afterlife. See, the title comes from a quote from Mark Twain, in which he basically stated to go to heaven for the climate and hell for the company. The idea for the story came about many years ago, when I had this really ridiculous dream that I accidentally ended up in hell, only to discover everyone there was really nice. Satan's name was actually Stan, but at some point in time an extra A had been added, and basically he was just a nice guy with a crappy job. A good friend of mine told me I had to turn it into a manuscript, and, well, that was nearly a decade ago. But here we are. So, yes, the hero is dead for most of the story, but don't worry, the afterlife turns out to be pretty nice. I should probably mention, for those of you who may buy certain genres with an expectation of some spice, that the main character is asexual. There are no sex scenes. There's a distinct lack of ace representation out there, and I'm hoping to fix that. Now I'm going to read you a portion of the book in which Gabe, our protagonist, has already gone to hell and made friends with Stan. Stan's dragging him into a locked cavern to show him something he thinks Gabe will like, and Gabe is, well, awkward, because that's just how he is. Please note that while I've sanitized the swearing for this video to keep it family friendly, it is in the book because I'm the child of a sailor and profanity is my native language, as proven by the fact that this is the third time I've gone through this because I keep accidentally swearing. We shuffled forward a bit longer until Stan gently brought me to a stop. "Okay," he said, voice barely containing his excitement. "Open your eyes." I don't think, in all my newly unceasing existence, I would ever be able to find words to describe what I saw when I complied. We were indeed standing in front of a massive underground lake, but what caught my attention the most was the island in the middle, dotted with what looked like a small forest of evergreens. It was the trees I'd smelled. And above them, in the cavern ceiling, was an enormous opening the size of the island. 3, 2, 1, Stan murmured under his breath, and when he reached the end of the countdown, a shaft of light flickered into view, slowly sliding onto the island. "Holy crap," I breathed. "Is that—" "The sun," Stan confirmed. "Come on, let's go." Then, without waiting for an answer, he grabbed my wrist again, pulling me along the shoreline until we reached a beached rowboat. He shoved it into the water with what only could have been the confidence of having done it countless times before, then climbed in and waited. "Well?" "I'm hoping you know how to row this thing because I sure as heck don't," I said after shaking myself from the stupor I'd fallen into. He snorted in response. "Obviously, since I'm the only one who can unlock the gate. Come on, get in." I took off my shoes and socks, rolled up my pants, and managed to wade into the water and climb into the boat without capsizing. Tempest simply splashed through and jumped in, then shook himself dry. We both stared at him in disbelief as we sat there, dripping from his efforts. "Was that necessary?" Stan asked him. Tempest made a noise that I swear to God sounded like the wheezing laugh of the antagonist's sidekick Mutt from an old cartoon. Stan glared at him, then dipped the oars into the water and crossed the lake. The water was a glorious shade of blue, so crystal clear that I could see to the bottom. "How deep is this anyway?" I asked. "It only looks like about 5 feet, but the water is deceptive. It could be 50 feet, and I wouldn't know." "It's about 5, Stan agreed, surprising me. "There are a few places where it dips closer to 6, but this lake may as well be a swimming pool, which I suppose isn't bad, all things considered. It's not deep enough for us to have monsters show up. Then I'd have to watch for that, too." "Monsters?" I asked nervously, eyeing the water, but I didn't even see any fish. Stan nodded. "For instance, Loch Ness is connected to more than one underwater cavern that leads to part of the underworld. Nessie randomly pops up in different parts of the underworld to mess with people. The last time she was in—" He stopped to think about it, his words trailing off. Tempest let out a bark. "Right," Stan agreed, though I obviously had no idea what he'd agreed with. "She showed up in Jigoku. I think that was the first time she'd gone there, so maybe she'd found a new tunnel and wanted to see where it went. Either way, she surprised a lot of people." I wasn't sure how to feel about that, so I let the subject drop. Really, I probably shouldn't have been shocked to discover the Loch Ness Monster wasn't a myth, given that my neighbor was a vampire and I was in a rowboat with a hellhound and the guy in charge of hell. And yet, there I was, shocked. The lake was more extensive than it had looked from the shore, and it took longer than I'd anticipated to paddle out to the island. The thought hit me that it might be an excellent swimming workout, but I decided I'd ask Stan about that later. There were more important things to focus on, like the gleaming sunshine close at hand. Once we reached the other side and pulled the boat onto what I was surprised to discover was soft soil, Stan grabbed my wrist again. He didn't have to drag me this time, because I practically ran for the sunshine. As the light hit us, I sucked in a breath. Or rather, as it hit him. I'd been under the assumption that he was a pasty white demon, but under the rays of the sun, his exposed skin went opalescent, shimmering in every color imaginable as he moved. Beautiful, I sighed. I was hoping you'd like it, Stan said excitedly. I knew you were probably aching for some actual sun after being under the void of hell's sky, and this was the perfect opportunity. That too, I agreed, but I was actually talking about you. I hadn't meant to hit on him, but that's definitely what my words sounded like. I thought your skin was just white, I clarified, and then you got into the sun, and you're some beautiful freaking rainbow instead, and I was just surprised. Yeah, I was blushing from embarrassment. I could tell because my face felt like it was on fire. But to be fair, Stan's face had also gone red. Thank you, he murmured. So how is this island not stone? I asked, awkwardly changing the subject. I wasn't expecting dirt, and such obviously fertile dirt at that. Honestly, I have no idea, Stan admitted. Maybe it's from when the ceiling caved in, but it's far too high to just be that. I looked up at the hole, and he was right. While the gap was huge, it was high enough that I couldn't see where it ended. Weird question, but how do you not have people falling to their deaths? There's a barrier, he said, and I looked over to see him wiggling his fingers as if indicating the casting of magic of some sort. And illusions. Humans in the living world don't see the hole at all. They walk right across it, none the wiser. Someone still has to be here to protect it, though, just in case. That's why I live where I do. Huh, I said, still trying to find the upper edge of the thing. And where would I be if I climbed all the way up into the living world? Last I checked, the parking lot of the Denny's in Burbank. Huh, I said again. Well, that explains a lot. Go for the Company by me, Anders Sealark, is now available from Amazon for purchase and via Kindle Unlimited. Thanks, everyone. And remember, life is short, so take a freaking nap.